Not
Did
at
you
all.
make this?
Not at all.
You
Yeah.
made this.
Yeah, I did.
No,
yeah.
it's fabulous.
You are hysterical.
No,
Well,
I actually like it. As a matter of fact, is there a hint of cranberry in there?
No, there's no cranberry.
Okay. Maybe it's
You're
my
hysterical.
tonsils rebelling.
Oh, you're making me laugh.
That's
Hysterical.
crazy.
Give me the cookie, please.
No, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna gnaw on it.
You're gonna put it in your pocket.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna eat it.
You know,
throughout
like
the
you're a
course.
kid and like
What?
I find it in your pocket
Yes.
later.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna tell you a story about that. real quick. This is funny shit. This is true. Okay, everything comes from me is true. So, Diego, my oldest son, I'm gonna go play golf with him on Monday. School is picking up golf all of a sudden, and this because he's at the age of 28. He just turned 28. He's a big shot now. This dude. Let me tell you something. I'm so proud of both my sons, but and I can talk about each one of them. Everybody, I mean, Hunter, man, that's my dude. Diego's my guy. But just talking about Diego for a second, he started at this company when he was 18 years old, where it was for construction, and he started at the lowest possible level. He was hired to go, and he got this job through a church to sweep the floor behind people.
Okay.
But he'd have to wake up at 4 in the morning and go to God knows where to get this small paycheck. I never took a dime from him because I didn't want to say, oh, okay, you got a job now give me half of this, you're getting old enough and you've got to contribute and all this shit. I said, no, I want this guy to continue to wake up at 4 in the morning.
That's right.
I want that to be instilled in him, that work ethic. I want him to collect every penny, and as long as he's not, wasting it, and that's up to him to determine what to do with his money, but for the most part, you know what I mean, not just blowing it on stupid things. But I said, no, this guy's actually somewhat frugal and stuff, keep going. But in 6-7 years, he went from that to, he is like an assistant superintendent at this place called, I don't know if I should say the company's name, but a huge construction company in San Francisco. And this dude's making more money than I've ever made at 28 years old. I say, man, good for you. My son, my other son, that's amazing. And there was a reason I brought up his name. I'm not sure why I brought Diego up, but anyway, I'm proud of him, and Hunter's kicking ass too. He's making more money than I ever made too. See, I chose the artist lifestyle. That's a tough lifestyle.
It is. There isn't a real path of like prosperity for it because it's not as valued.
Jazz club and stuff, but man, you invest so much in those things and you put so much effort into it, and you really don't get back for the most part what it is you put into
Absolutely, but you don't materially. But you do in other riches.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be here with you
and
this whole thing that we're doing now.
It's it is so rewarding in itself.
Absolutely.
Art is for art's sake in many ways. And so many artists, the masters, did not really benefit from their art until they were dead. So, we could kill you.
I keep telling people that. Collect this shit now. That's what people do. I have one lady who's got, we're getting into art now, but she's got, without exaggeration, she's got 13 paintings. Another lady's got 16. One has got a combination of art and sketches and painting, 15. So there's actually quite a few people. And man, thank you. I won't say all your names there. I won't embarrass you or get you in trouble.
You mean folks who have bought your art?
Yeah, they got my art. So there's a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of varying of how many they have. There's some people that just have one, but boy, the number of people that have multiple ones and high numbers of multiple ones. So thank you. I mean that's incredible. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, what I love about art, and which includes your art as well. It's like that makes sense to me for a person to get one piece and then get another piece. They actually are benefiting. They benefited from the first piece, which means art gives. Art's alive. Yeah. It really is. So you're having a relationship with this painting, basically. Right? Don't you have relationships with all of your artwork?
I'm telling you.
I know.
I'm telling you, the longer a painting sits around, the harder
it is to give it away.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
That's the God's honest truth.
That's why all these people have multiple paintings, because they have that first initial relationship with the painting. It's doing something to them. And then they get another one, and guess what? They have another relationship. It's like people like the cat collector.
You're getting me into it now because, you know, I mean, we're talking about something that I live every day.
Yeah.
I live to paint and express and create and write. I dabble in writing too.
Yeah, I
but,
see your books here. We'll have to talk about these because I did not know you were a writer. So,
well, you know,
I want to know a little bit more about that as another,
but
as a fellow writer.
I was thinking about something the other day, or actually even today. I've had a lot of people, and it's weird because, okay, I'm 59 now. I'm out there with my age. No big deal. I'll be 60 July 19th.
Woo!
Yeah, we already got it. Yeah, my God, that's crazy. I can't even believe I made it this far, really. You know, people say that shit, but I really mean it. I cannot believe I made it this far.
Really? Honestly, do you feel that way?
I truly feel
wow,
that way.
especially with your family.
Well,
your younger brothers and sisters. I'm grateful for that I made it this far, but honestly, I feel like I'm 25, so I don't have I don't feel age.
Right.
I just don't feel the age. So
well,
it's like someone's got to tell, you know what I mean? It's like the mirror shows me my age, but
I
don't
gotta be
feel
honest
the
with
age.
you. I feel the age.
I don't.
I do. I think it's because my knees are all messed up because I used to be an exercise.
Yeah.
Like a madman earlier, but I wanted to, you know, I had this thought about art, and it's weird because as I get older, I have come to the conclusion that I'm aware that I really know a lot less than I thought I knew. Now, I'm much smarter, I believe, and much wiser through experience than I was when I was younger, yet that has
we never stopped.
Opened up the door. That's okay. So that's led me to understand that as much as I know a lot more, I really realize that I know a lot less than I thought I knew.
In terms of
just in the world, in the way the world is, the questioning of people and motives.
Yeah, I know nothing. That's how I feel. I know nothing.
You know, a lot of times I think things are simpler than they really are, or they should be.
Yeah.
But somebody, Bobby in the last interview, and a lot of other people have over 38 years of creating art, has said, you're very prolific. They use the word prolific, okay, because I paint a lot.
You do. You do. You do.
And, you know, it's funny because until Bobby said that, and other people have said that, but for some reason, just after Bobby said that, you know, the next day, I'm there painting again. Well, wow, big surprise. I'm drawing. And I thought to myself, damn, I am prolific. Okay, boy, I just continue to turn them out. Why do I do that? It's weird because I never asked myself or thought to myself, why am I so prolific? And it's weird because here's the answer I came up with. On the surface, I create more to have more inventory and more volume for more potential of sale to survive. And that's largely the case. But there's another thing that I realized that I didn't really focus on before. I create as often as I do out of necessity to keep me from not looking back and constantly looking forward. Because I think if I don't sit there every day, or not every day, but close to every day, and create something that diverts my attention, has me thinking about what I'm doing, what I want this to be, what the future's gonna be. That's why this backyard improv, the show that we do here, the painting and all that is necessary for me as an individual to keep me looking forward, because if I don't have that, and if I don't paint, then I get stuck in thinking about what was. And thinking about potentially what could have been, what should have been, what this. This forces me to look forward and just constantly move in a forward direction.
Well, I think that's a phenomenal medicine then, because it definitely allows you to be in the present moment while you're painting, and then obviously thinking about the future, because often you're thinking about, you might be painting for somebody else, right? And so it gives you that purpose as well. And then also whatever your painting's teaching you as you're painting, because I notice that most of your paintings have a lot of symbology in them.
Right.
and they have a lot of hidden meaning that you're learning. Like, so you're interacting and learning from these paintings. That's, I mean, it's coming out of you. I don't know if you plan them.
Most of them are, but
Yeah.
there's some that aren't. You know.
Oh, so you have an idea initially, but does it take a turn for you? Does it do what it needs to do on its own, or do you feel like you guide it all the way through?
No, great question. And I've had people ask me a few questions years ago when I was, because it's just that I don't get a chance to talk too much about art and what I've done and stuff. But I've been in a few galleries in New York on Broadway, and God knows how many coffee houses and restaurants in West Hollywood and Hollywood, like on the Sunset Strip there and stuff like that. So I mean, I had my own gallery for a while in West Hollywood, and was in the Playboy Jazz Festival. God knows how many festivals and things I've been in these years, and I come to the conclusion I don't want to be part of another gallery at all. The paintings either come up missing, or you're splitting the cost, which that means you have to raise the price so much, where because you're giving them a 40 or 50% commission or something. And I don't want to charge people that much. I used to charge 2 or 3 times the amount that I charge now.
Oh, I see.
Yes, I sell a little bit more now because of that. It's not 2 or 3 times as much. But I just want to be a little bit more affordable for people that do want this change of dynamic in their house. You introduce a new color, the symbolism, new vibe.
Just a whole new experience with a painting. Like I said,
I
it is alive.
paintings all the time in here.
Yeah.
I do get to be a creature. My old wife, my wife, at one time she would get mad at me because I kind of, how should I say? Sometimes I get set in a way where I'll you went through that cookie like it was just nothing.
Oh no, I didn't even eat
I
I didn't even eat the whole thing. It's like there's like crumbs everywhere.
Yeah, and
yeah, it is a healthy cookie. I was going to say that about vegan, right? Veganism.
Yeah.
First of all, our taste buds are conditioned to like certain things, like fat. And actually, that's not my best cookie for sure. But anyway,
no, still a good cookie.
No, but it's actually a healthy cookie. Okay. I mean, it's whole food cookie. It's not junk. Those donuts, the dunks, the donuts that you had. Who needs a prude? Right. You'll have a good day tomorrow.
No. Thank you very much for caring.
I want you to know. Your digestive system will love you.
Okay. Yes.
But those vegan donuts, those were store bought.
Keeps pushing almond milk up.
No, I know. Those vegan donuts were store bought, and of course you're gonna like them because they're made to mimic sort of the mainstream, sort of donut. But anyway, so our taste buds are conditioned.
I've been into something I like.
Was it a chocolate chip?
Yeah. Of course. Dark chocolate.
Anyway.
Please talk as I'm trying to get something to drink.
It is a hearty cookie for sure. This is hysterical to me. Oh my God.
Damn, I feel like I was near death right there. I'm surprised I made it this far. No, I'm just messing with you. That's what happens when you become friends and stuff like that. You can just mess with
It's hysterical.
You know, that's crazy.
You remind me of my brother. He had a really dry sense of humor like that.
Well, that's perfect. You gotta use some words for this.
I love it.
I can't believe we've been talking and it's already like 48 minutes or something, so I don't want to, maybe we got about another 10 minutes in us. Okay. What do you want people to know, Raine? I'm going to ask you another hard-hitting kind of reporter type question.
Oh my goodness.
Here, check this out. I don't want to get all morbid, but
oh gosh.
as I get older, I think to myself, when I'm not around anymore.
What a beautiful world.
What will people think? What will people remember? And of course, everybody's got a different perspective of things. So, whereas one people may think this of you, somebody else may not think of that of you at all. But what would be your thing you would want people to remember you as? So when they're like, "Oh, I remember Raine." I'm not throwing this out here. You're going to live another 40 years. But,
I
guess on your tombstone
I really don't think about, that as much as, like, just being the, I guess, the kind of, for lack of a better term, person that I'm interested in being the most authentic person I can be. And I think that is our purpose here, actually, is to be who we are in all of our uniqueness, and to express that. Just like a flower is here, it doesn't have a particular purpose. It's there to be beautiful and to be strange in some ways and to be unique.
Is it weird that I say goodnight to each one of my plants?
Not at all. Not at
Actually
all.
say
They're
goodnight.
sentient
You know
beings.
why I do that? I do that because I miss saying goodnight to my sons.
Oh, that is so adorable. Oh,
Well,
that's
that's
really
weird, and
cute.
it sounds, but
Not-
it's true. I really miss that one part
Oh,
of being
wow.
the everyday dad, is saying good morning and good night to my sons.
Oh, that is really sweet.
So I say goodnight
And
to
to your
these
plants?
plants and to the pictures of my sons.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
I don't think it's weird at all.
No, who knows?
But yeah, I love it. That's
Yeah.
really sentimental and beautiful. Yeah.
So you think plants can pick up on that? You are the type of person I can have this discussion with, and if somebody tunes out or whatever, you can say love you. I love you regardless.
You're so good.
What is the meaning of life?
It's to be like art for art's sake. That's what I think. God's a creator. And we are art for art's sake because you're here to be what you are. That is the meaning of life, to be what you are. God created you, had a blueprint like a snowflake, you know. Every snowflake is different, every fingerprint is different, and to express the beauty of what you are. And then to pollinate the world like a flower does with your essence. Right?
I would agree. I would agree with
just
all
to,
that.
And you do that. You do that.
No. We all do that, and whether it be good or bad.
Yeah.
And
yes, whether it be good or bad. I mean, is there good or bad?
Right.
They're just different. There's just a spectrum of
You know what?
of expressions.
It's gonna
really
be weird because
there is that though.
I believe
Don't hurt people.
you know, sometimes people are afraid to talk about what their beliefs are for fear that you may block out a certain type. And there's the other people like, damn it, I'm going to say exactly how I feel and let the chips fall where they fall or whatnot. But you know,
I'm the
what
latter.
Okay. And if they don't like you for your opinion, then okay, whatever, then move on. You know, I've come to the conclusion as an artist that not everybody's going to love you. Right? I mean, so I want everybody to love me. Please love me. I'll do whatever I can to make you love me. You know, that sounds like a song right there.
Oh, let's do that Bonnie Raitt song.
Yeah,
I can't make you love me.
Okay, all right, there you go. I didn't even know that. I thought that was some original shit. I believe these are the proving grounds.
These are the proving grounds?
These are the proving grounds.
Okay.
This is where you come and you get battle tested. This is where you come and you evolve as a person, as a soul, to get better. And you have to keep doing it until you get it right. Then you eventually get to move on.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with things. So that's
Yeah.
I mean reincarnation, yes. I believe that.
Yeah, I have an idea that's similar to that, you know, and that can change, obviously, as my awareness evolves. But I think we are already the perfect blueprint. I think we are already what we are, but only our awareness of ourselves needs to evolve. So yes, this is the proving ground. In other words, we are learning how to become aware of who we really are by, it's more of a subtraction than an addition. We don't become something, we become aware of a completed self.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we leave things like, I know in my own life, I had to let go of a lot of conditioning. Like this creative part of my life came about by letting go of the things that I thought I should do. Like I was in education for 34 years.
Okay.
And not that it's not a
what?
valiant effort. I started off as a counselor, advising students on what they wanted to do with their lives and kinds of things, and then you got promoted until you're like a VP and you're looking at data and and you're doing all kinds of things that are divorced or removed from what your original intention was. So nonetheless, and then schools and like a lot of organizations have changed. Their bottom line now is profitability and data, and they're data driven, and so it takes the joy and the humanity out of it in many ways. And so nonetheless, letting go of some of the things that I was taught, many of the things I was taught either by my culture, by my family, by the experiences I had, and understanding that life is not a concept, it's real, it's in the present moment right now, and it's everything that you feel and experience right now. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have to make ourselves into something, you know, we don't need
Right.
labels and facades and things
Right,
like that.
right,
We're
right.
strange enough as it is.
Yeah, well,
I mean, look at us.
absolutely, yeah.
We're literally
No,
creatures.
you're tripping me out now.
We're creatures,
No,
you know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on
Uh-huh,
that. You know,
yeah.
so I've had a good time.
Yeah,
talking.
me
Time is
too.
flying. I'm looking at this at 55 minutes. And I'm like, man.
That's
you
perfect.
really?
I like that number,
minutes?
55.
55. Well, that means I have to stop talking now. No, it's going to probably roll at another 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe we'll make it. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. I learned a lot about you today.
Well, I'm sorry for that. Yeah, you know. But,
No, I mean, I really love the conversation about your art and your.
Put it this way.
Yeah.
Put it this way. I think to wrap it up, and Bobby even said it, and I've been talked. I got 3 books that are right here, and
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. One is called Soul.
What is Soul Driver about?
Soul Driver. These
In
are
a
all
nutshell.
novellas. They're on.
I like
Amazon.
I like the name.
So they're on Amazon, and these are short books. I'll tell you a little story about this. These are novellas. Each one's like 115 pages or whatever. They're quick reads. So we have Soul Driver, The State of Isabel.
What is okay? They're novellas about what?
Okay, well, different things, different subject matters. Okay, and one's called Picture the End. Okay. Oh, in Picture the okay. How do I do this with the little time that I have? Okay, I'm going to give you the quick version of Soul Driver, but then I want to talk about Picture the End because that has that story that I was talking about serendipity.
Oh, the serendipity.
Earlier. Okay.
Okay.
But basically, Soul Driver was meant to be a screenplay, as all these are meant to be a screenplay. But I don't do anything normal, right? So I said, well, I don't want to just create these words, put them in a screenplay, send them to somebody. They're going to get thrown on a pile someplace. Nobody's going to freaking read this except they, you know, whatever. I would rather turn it into a story, have people read it, and one day, hopefully, somebody says, I can't do anything with it, but I love this story. I know who can. I'm going to pass this on to Bill or Susan or whatever, right? You know, and they may dig this and do it because I had a vision, or my vision, or what I would like to do ultimately is to sit into a movie theater and have one of these stories turned into a full-on movie. Soul Driver is about an African-American man. It starts on this 22nd floor of a Manhattan high-rise, and he's looking at the window contemplating life. And he was an orphan. He came from New Orleans, and his parents died when he was really little, and he just had a real tough life. And he's such a giving person because his parents, even though they had nothing, you would never know it. You would never know it. There was so much love in the house that he felt he was rich. And it's only afterwards you realize how little he had. And anyway, so he always had a hard time finding love. He just couldn't find love. And he thought he found love one day because he had this lady. And he went from having no money to being extremely successful, self-made man, 22nd floor. And he's looking down at the people walking by. I got a great shot. That shot of Soul Driver on the front, I actually took that as I was on the 22nd floor of the Helmsley Palace, as I was in New York going to one of my art shows. So yeah, I'm there getting ready to go to one of my art shows on Broadway in Soho. And I said, oh, that's a cool picture. And then I turned it into a book. And basically, he gives so much of himself away because he gets dismayed. One day this lady leaves him. Just up and leaves him. And he was working hard, and he was doing all this
All the
kind of
things he
stuff.
thought he should do, right?
All the things he thought he should do. And then she up and left him because of some ridiculous reason. And he got really discouraged, and he said, I'm finding all these people, and I'm going to give all these people everything that I have. I'm going to find this person who's getting evicted out of the house with his family. I'm giving them my home. And I'm giving this, he just went off the deep end, so to speak, and he gave all his wealth away to the point where he is now in socks, and he just gave so much of himself away, but then he ended up getting recognized for that as this person. He made it on the news. He was dismayed because he lost love, and it was fake. He thought he had it, but he never had it.
Yeah.
And so he got discouraged and gave everything himself away. and this beautiful Latina woman saw him on the news about this guy who was helping somebody else when he had nothing to give. And she fell in love with him. And ran across him one day. And it's a rags to riches to
heartbreak
rags
to love.
Heartbreak, so it's something. But,
That's
and I don't mean
cool.
to talk your ear off.
No,
but
I
do
really
want
love
to tell
it.
you about this serendipity.
Yeah, I love it.
And the State of Isabel is about a lady.
Is this the serendipity one?
No,
Oh, no,
I'm
okay.
going to get to that in
Okay.
a second. So we're going to go a little longer.
And where can we find these books?
You
Are
go
they?
to Amazon. They're on
Okay,
Amazon.
okay.
Yeah, okay, you have to punch in either the State of Isabel.
Right.
The author name is Peter B. Barron.
Is the picture of you on the back?
A whole picture of me on the back. So with my author name, I had the middle initial, which is B. So Peter B. Barron, you can get picture of the end, Soul Driver, or the State of Isabel. The State of Isabel is kind of funny because it's about a lady who's a school teacher in Northern California with 2 kids, and she thought her husband left him. She thought her husband left her.
Yeah.
As it turns out, he didn't leave her on purpose. He was killed.
Oh.
Okay, but she didn't know that. She has this affinity for going to garage sales and estate sales. She loves history. So she would go to these things and try to find these old things and connect with the time that was back whenever. She just had this affinity for history and finding old things and bringing them into her home. One day she goes to this house for this garage sale that's listed, and there's no garage sale really that she can notice. So she goes up to the door, and there's this weird lady who opens up the door and says, "I'm sorry, I don't have a garage sale, but this book is for you." And she hands her a book through this crack of the door, and she opens it. She goes home. She's intrigued. It's an old book. It must be hundreds and hundreds of years old. It's put together with hair and just crazy shit, right? So she's like, "Oh wow, this is really freaky." So I'm gonna open up this book, and she reads a passage because she just opens up this book, and this passage she reads then enables her, without her knowledge, that whenever she holds or looks or uses an old item, she gets transported to that time. The last person who used it, and then so she buys these binoculars from the Korean War. Okay, and she looks through these binoculars, and she's instantly sucked into who had those binoculars and what was happening in that foxhole. And the only way that she ever learns how to get out of that is to then repeat that process.
What do you mean?
By then again looking back into that.
Oh, I see. Okay,
or
I got it.
reusing that thing or
Got it.
whatever she did the first time to get there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I know I'm talking a lot. I'm gonna let you wrap this up.
No,
here.
no, go
But
ahead.
the picture at the end is funny.
Okay, so that's the
what you're
State of
holding in your
Isabel.
hand here.
Right.
That's the State of
Okay, so now I'm curious about the end and but anyway, I
Okay,
guess I
well,
can read the book.
I'll give you these books. Yeah, I'll actually, as a
No, you
matter
don't
of
have
fact,
to give them to me.
well, no, but I'd
Yeah.
love for you to
Yeah.
read them. What,
Yeah.
You're a busy lady, so you got a lot of things
It's
going
okay.
on.
No,
Picture the
a
End
reader.
is the first one I wrote, and they're all I wrote them so that they would be quick reads. So you could be on a 2-hour train ride, you can do whatever, and you're like, I'm killing a day or something, and I can knock these out.
Yeah.
But Picture the End is funny. I'll tell you what. I love both those other stories. This one is me. I wrote this back in 1992. Was the original time I wrote it when I was struggling. I was a special guest at the Playboy Jazz Festival as an artist. And what's really funny about this is all true. Not an exaggeration at all and on any level. So I'm living in Brentwood, Southern California, right next door to the O.J. Simpson thing that happened, if you guys remember that. And I was running a clothing store because I've been in retail for a lot of my life, running or general managing these big, high volume type, real high-end clothing stores. I ended up owning my own at one point. But, so I had no car, and I would take these buses to work. And I'm sitting here painting, and I'm getting bored of painting. I'm listening to jazz, I'm painting, I'm doing my thing. Okay, it's cool, I'm doing this every day. I need a break. I'd never written anything before. And I said, man, I feel the stories in me. So I wrote about an artist. Of course, Picture the End is about a starving artist. So I drew upon myself as a character. Here's the funny thing. This, basically, to move the story along, is about a starving artist who has a near-death experience because he was shot coming to help somebody. And as he's leaving and he's going up to wherever he's going, he has a meeting, and which he doesn't remember any of this, but he is given the gift, unbeknownst to him, that whatever he paints will come true, whether it's good or bad. He never comes to learn this. The higher powers they believe in him enough as an evolved soul that they're going to just bank on the idea because they feel change needs to happen. We're going to empower this person and other people in other ways or whatever, but this one person with whatever he paints, we're just going to take it for granted. He's going to paint good things and make these slow changes that nobody will ever really be able to connect. So as I'm home writing this and painting, I have no car. This character, I said, well, he needs a car to get around.
You're giving me goosebumps to begin with, okay?
This is real.
No, I believe. Oh, I 100% believe this.
So
Serendipity is my friend.
This guy had a '65 Ford Thunderbird. Okay. I wrote the fact that this character had, and I referenced it. At one point, he's having a gallery meeting. He's behind in rent. He can't make it. He's got 3 days. He's about to be kicked out. He needs $5,000. Blah blah blah, and all this kind of stuff. So he goes out in his '65 Ford Thunderbird and drives around because he's so stressed he's not going to make it. He doesn't know what to do. It's raining outside, so nobody's going to show up. All of a sudden, he's driving down this road, and the people helping him are going, "Where the hell are you going? Why don't you come back? You got a show here, you know?" And he's just so discouraged that he gets out. No, I need some air. I got to get out. And all of a sudden, it's totally cloudy. There's a break in the sky, and there's this full moon. And he goes back, and I referenced the fact that he turns around in a '65 Ford Thunderbird. He goes back. What's funny is I've always loved a '65 Ford Thunderbird. At that time when I wrote that, I bought a '65 Ford Thunderbird with the only $800 I had. It was white with red interior. It sat in my carport in Brentwood, California for 2 years. It looked beautiful. The inside was immaculate, but it didn't work. It never ran. So for 2 years, I took the bus to go to 2 buses to go to work. And I would take, every time I come home, I'd take out my trash and I'd walk by this car that sat there idle for 2 years. And I would open up the door and I'd sit in this car and dream. And I could never get it to run. I just didn't have the money to do anything about it. Things got so bad that I ended up selling it. I never even had a chance to drive it, but for 2 years I sat in it. Man, I want to tell you, it almost brought tears to my eyes one day when I had to sell it for the same amount that I bought it for. They came and they picked it up and put it on a flatbed truck and it drove down the road. I never even drove it around the block. I was so discouraged. I said, when's that going to happen again? 34 years later go by. I open up the jazz club, the Impulse Room in Walnut Creek. I also have the book come out where I self-published it on Amazon.
This book?
This book. Okay, with the other ones. I get this book back and I get my copy of it and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And I'm reading through it and I said to myself as I first got this book, and it was neat to see this story in print and stuff like that. I'm going through it and I said, oh yeah, because when I opened up the club in 2017, after 34 years, I bought the '65 Ford Thunderbird. 34 years later, I ended up buying a '65 Ford Thunderbird that was white with red interior that used to park in front of the club every day that the club was open. I finally got to drive this car that I'd always dreamed about driving. And I had to wait 34 years, so I get the book that comes out. And I flipped through this book, and I remembered that I mentioned that I referenced this one time, only one time in the whole book do I reference a '65 Ford Thunderbird. I wanted to flip through this book to say, oh, that's so neat, I remember talking about that in this book. I turned to it, 34 years later, the single mention is on page 34.
That's interesting. Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you.
That's interesting.
I'm telling you, and I won't even get into it because we're going to wrap it up, and I want to hear some final thoughts from you.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things that went on with the book have come to pass now.
Yeah.
Because the book's title is called Picture the End.
Yeah.
And I believe that when you write things down,
Yeah.
they come to pass at some point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like dreaming our lives in many ways. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bring this home, Raine.
Yeah.
Let everybody know what you want them to know.
Yeah, no, I guess I just want to encourage everyone to sort of follow their heart, you know, and be what they are, you know, believe in who you are, you know, believe in what your passions kind of tell you what, you know, let your passions guide you. I think we often refer too much to what we think we should do to earn a living, to have success, whatever that is, which is monetary. Normally, we live in a highly material world. And I think we have to forego some of that because it doesn't really bring us the happiness, the true happiness that we really get from doing what is in our heart. And I love the biblical quote or saying is, thy will be done. Yeah, we have a higher will. There is a higher will that is trying to live us and to let that happen.
Well, I agree. Amen.
Yeah, amen.
Nice talk.
Yeah.
You know what? I've enjoyed talking to you.
I enjoyed talking to you as well.
Shot by the 55.
Yeah, we had no
like
idea
that.
what we were really going to talk
well,
about.
no, it's Xtemporize, right?
Yes.
This is how we do it. You know what?
Yes.
I think I could sit here for another hour
Honestly.
and ramble on, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we'll get
Definitely
out of here.
not. Definitely
So
not.
what's on the list is we have the Backyard Improv that's going to be rolling around the number 48 is February 3rd. I won't say who the musicians are because I don't want to get in trouble, but it is a quintet this time, 5 people, incredible musicians. I'm so excited to have them come. A couple surprises for that show. And then as far as Xtemporize, the show here, we have, again, Noel Couture that's going to be rolling up here real soon.
And Noel is a
saxophone
player.
Yeah.
Actually, we have 2 sax players in a row.
Back to back, man. That's the way we're doing it.
Yeah,
Noah's
I
Ark
love
here.
it. Yeah.
Well, okay, so we're gonna have 2 back-to-back sax players. And
We
I
had
think
2
we've done that with
back-to-back
drummer-
bass players.
Yeah, right.
And drummers, yeah, exactly.
And now we're gonna do that with the sax players and then 2 guitar players in that. We're having Jinx come and Jason Stewart. So Jinx Jones and Jason Stewart. So
Cool.
all right, well, it's wonderful talking to you.
Yeah.
And I think I'm talked out, so now nobody has to hear it.